I kind of want to watch this. I know it's a massive troll, the 9-to-5 workers thing, but I heard it's actually pretty funny and it's good.
How are you gonna disrespect your mom like that, dude?
She is right now.
You're gonna disrespect your mom and say that your work is harder? That is so rude.
All right, can I talk?
Hairspray.
Listen, so your whole
So
thing.
it's dangerous.
Listen, bet.
Your job is
chill.
you
would have to go to work.
Went
to school, and still.
and paid rent.
Yes, I still worked.
That's your choice.
You're high. You're hungover.
You guys are playing video games. I play video games on my spare time. I don't even enjoy streaming anymore.
What's up? How's it going?
Same old different day.
So this is just a 9-to-5 workers for streamers debate. What is harder? Well, streaming's harder.
Okay. All right, so my argument here is that streaming and social media creation is harder than a 9-to-5.
Nah, it's not facts, bro. 9 to 5 is way harder, homie.
Why do you say that?
Because you gotta get up every motherfucking day, go to the motherfucking bullshit job, and slave for fucking pennies.
See, that's the thing is you're right. You get up every day, you go through the motions. You don't have to get a good night's sleep. You don't have to be focused. You don't have to be locked in. You wake up. You go, you flip some patties, maybe you sign a few envelopes, answer a few phone calls. With streaming and social media creation, you have to be on your game 24/7. It's like a switch that never
when you're
turns
a mail
off.
carrier, I'm a mail carrier, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. I get treated like shit every motherfucking day.
We
I'm
have to
still
deal with
slaving
thousands,
every day.
tens of thousands of people
Bullshit.
critiquing every little thing we do.
That's right.
Man.
That's true.
Every thought
You
we
guys
have.
got it made, man. I wish I had it made like y'all.
We don't have to
I
go
wish.
sign a few envelopes and put them in a mailbox.
Man,
We
you
have
got
to
it
be,
gravy, bro.
What's the next
True.
trend? What's the next
Shit I
idea?
go through every
Oh my
day.
God, I have to
And got
stream
dogs.
today.
And I got dogs that want to bite my ass
And
every
you have
day.
lunch breaks. You have lunch breaks. We don't have breaks. We're on 24/7.
You got
high energy, 24/7.
I wish I could be at home like you and get back and get paid big money.
We're not even at home. We're walking around.
Man,
We're walking
I
around
wanna
doing
do
things,
all of
going
that
to
because
parties, doing
the
all this
shit
stuff.
I got to slave just for not even 100,000 a year. I got to work double overtime.
You literally eat during stream. You realize that you get lunch breaks IRL, right? Like, what kind of person does not get lunch breaks IRL? You all do. Just think about how hard that is for streaming. I don't get a lunch break, chat. I don't get to just walk away and eat. I have to eat while still trying to entertain you guys non-stop. I can't quit my job. I have to keep going all the time. So since I don't get lunch breaks, I don't even, I should get a lunch break. We should have a time, chat, where I end stream for 30 minutes, get a lunch break, and then I'm able to come back. Because I don't get a lunch break. I've never had a lunch break in my entire life. And I don't bring that up often, chat, but I never had a fucking lunch break. Think about that. I've never had a lunch break in 7 years. Because you guys, I have to fucking entertain you guys while I'm eating. Think about that. That's crazy shit.
Bullshit.
Okay, what about this? You're guaranteed to get paid. You have a
No, I'm
steady
not.
rate.
You're not guaranteed?
If I don't work, I don't get paid. It's simple as that.
Yeah, but you have a guaranteed pay.
Guaranteed pay if you
No,
work.
I
That's
don't.
your decision if you don't want
I
to work.
gotta work at the job for
If
years.
I don't go live, I don't
Just
get paid
to
either.
collect.
You don't got to deal with people spamming L's.
Yes, we have people in the chat
True.
spamming L's.
True. That's true. That's true. That's true.
You have to create content. Imagine you have to be high energy. Oh, hey guys, how's
That's
it
true.
going? You guys like this stream?
That's me 24/7. I'd rather do that.
So why don't you become a streamer?
Man,
But, dude, this guy's also got nicer chains on than the whole FaZe clan. Like, this guy's clearly doing well in the milk business.
that's what I want to do. F that. F this 9 to 5 shit.
If streaming is so easy, how come every single person in this seat is not a streamer?
People are lazy. They want to put in the work.
That's their fault.
I get called fat all the time.
Oh, so what? I get called fat and chubby. All my homeboys call me chubby, fat,
Well,
whatever.
That's your homeboys, though. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's your
Yeah.
homeboy.
Yeah, and you right, homeboy, you right. But check this out. My nigga, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna go out there and get that bag.
I think she's got something she wants to say.
Oh my gosh, wait, we're seeing a flag.
Unfortunately, these flags are actually useless. We decided to use a timer instead because we suck at explaining things.
So you raised your flag. Is there a reason you did
Yeah,
that?
because I was actually a cook for 15 years. So that means for 15 years, I had to get up practically every day, get dressed, go to work, and I had to deal with not only adults, but I also had to deal with children.
Ugh.
Children every day. We deal with tens of thousands of children and adults.
The Lacey Thugs are. Do you not know who the Lacey Thugs are?
I can't go without 10 kids coming up asking for a picture. You know how hard that is of a life?
Isn't that
That is
special?
difficult.
How long do you think this is going to last?
Forever.
Forever.
You think this
hopefully.
is going to last forever?
I hope so. You just proved my point for me. I don't have that security.
The last time I saw Lazy stream was a week ago and he was hotboxing a fat blunt in $200,000 car with sketch. Tough job.
Hypothetically, if you all of a sudden you lost all your followers, what would you do?
I know what he'll do. Get a
No, I'm asking
trigger
him.
warning.
I'm asking him. What would you do if you lost completely all your YouTubers? You had nothing. No one watched you anymore. I didn't even watch you anymore. What would you have to do? You would have to actually go to work.
Yo,
Dex.
Oh my God, did I just cuss at you?
That's a slur. If I did lose all my followers, I would probably buy a couple houses and start my real estate empire.
Okay, so then you would have to actually go to work. You would actually have to go to the office.
And I would think that would be a
Don't call real estate agents fucking work. What are you on about? That's hardly work.
much easier job than streaming.
You gotta go into your setup though and sit in front of studio lights and read the chat and be interactive.
But no, he lost everybody. He lost everybody. He has no followers whatsoever.
Oh, he can go and kick.
You're proving my point.
You would have
You're
to
proving
turn
my
around.
point. You're proving my point on why this is harder because I could lose it all tomorrow.
Yeah, but you could lose it tomorrow.
If let's say you're a cook, right? Let's say you got fired. You have hundreds of people lined up. You could go cook over here, cook over there. You
could be a private chef.
You could be a private chef. Exactly. I don't have that security.
I was a cook in the school system. I cooked all frozen food.
But you still cook.
You still cook. You go cook for another school.
I think I saw a flag right here.
Oh my God, these
I
flags.
see red flags.
I'm gonna have to backlight. Yo, Lacey, it's the truth.
I think something you guys aren't taking into account. Say we get a brand deal, I gotta post on an Instagram story. I gotta go find the 4 local cans. I gotta make sure I get the 4 local can. And
Not to mention, you have to do work. It ruins our Twitter impressions too.
I gotta tag them.
And then that goes into falling off.
My name is Rhonda. I'm a registered nurse from the South.
Nice to meet you.
From Pineville, Arkansas. 35 years ago, I decided to go to nursing school because I wanted to be a creative, I thought. I loved fashion, I loved acting, I loved singing. But in the South, whole lot of racism. Back in the 60s and the 50s, people didn't give a rat's ass if you created something, and they wouldn't support your business. So yes, a 9 to 5 is much harder. I had to work 7 to 3, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I had to support my daughter.
Rhonda,
You get spoiled.
Rhonda, can I ask you a question?
Nope.
Have you ever done
You
it?
get spoiled. You get spoiled, and your mama and daddy keep giving it to you.
Rhonda, I got a
did.
question for Rhonda.
I
I got a
did.
question for Rhonda. Rhonda,
Have you ever done
Yes.
24
have
hour?
you ever done a subathon?
What's a subathon?
30 days straight,
24
hours a day.
day and night. No break.
We all streamed for
That ain't even healthy.
You're talking about you have 2 30-minute breaks. That you get to go home afterwards, see your family, relax. We were on camera 30 days straight, no personal.
What
You know how
day
hard
were
it
you
is
a registered
to
nurse?
have.
When did you get a break? You clean boo-boo?
When have you ran a 3-minute ad?
You
When have you
clean
ever
up
ran? You
vomit,
never ran a
you
3-minute ad.
pass trays, you're short-handed.
Surprised you did not ditch.
Oh my God.
Now keep.
It's fake
Think
on
about
social
this.
media.
Think about this. Imagine
Sure.
every little person. We call them parasocials. They judge your
Parasocials.
relationships. You can't go out to dinner or have a girl take a picture in your car.
That's
without
true.
them finding out. And
That's true.
I got caught with my ex, and I got treated like I was a pedophile for it.
But mental health, when you stop caring about what people think and what they say about you, do you. And that's a big problem with younger people. You care about what people think, social media, what they say about
Because
you.
that's our
job.
You said you're a nurse, right?
35 years.
What do you think's harder? 24-hour open surgery, like when you're helping with, the doctor, et cetera, or a 24-hour stream?
24-hour open surgery.
Oh,
You're
brother.
short-handed.
We're saving thousands, you're saving one.
All right, so you said 30-day subathon, right?
Yep.
My argument is that none of you guys actually did any of the work during that, and it was all your filmers, your
part of the
editors,
FaZe team?
your producers. All these people back here are the ones doing the work. You guys just show up and have fun.
They didn't do anything.
It's a group project.
No, because here's the thing.
That's bad takes.
That's bad takes. That's bad takes. That's bad takes.
They wouldn't have any work
If it wasn't for the streamers.
if it wasn't for us, though.
That's true. That's true.
I would even go as far to
Wait, this guy switched sides. He's on their side now.
say as every person in this room, we keep them employed as well. Because here's the thing, we get sponsors from these companies that have 9-to-5s, right? These companies, hold on. These companies are not viable without influencers to push the brand and keep them in business.
Have you ever worked a real job?
No.
So how would you
See,
know?
I have worked a real job.
What was your real job?
I worked 8 months. I worked a double. I worked Walmart and Panera at the same time for a year.
Why is she laughing, bro? It's not.
Why is she laughing? Wasn't she just a cook on the line? Is she crazy? She's just a cook on the line. And why is she laughing at that? Walmart's a real job. That's some real shit. He had 2 jobs. Panera and Walmart is real shit.
She's making me mad. Why is she giggling? I actually feel like they're wrong.
Hi, I'm Chris.
All right, Chris.
Why do you think a 9-to-5 job is not harder than what you do?
Well, you're guaranteed to pay.
Guaranteed to pay?
Yeah.
And that makes it hard?
Chat, do you think 9-to-5s are actually harder than streaming? Yes. I actually would say it depends. And it totally depends. Chat, there are some guys I know in the industries for especially tech where they sit there and they might have 2 hours of work a week. But they pretend that they do 30, 40 hours, just like I'm sure most of you do, where you sit there and act like you have things to do all day when you're really just sitting there playing fucking, like, you know, probably on your Steam account, probably doing something else, and you act like you're doing your job, but you're really not doing shit. There's a lot of jobs out there, especially in tech, hands up, where you know that you ain't doing nothing. You're just sitting there, maybe 2 or 3 hours a week you really put in work. It's just a bunch of meetings that are pointless and worthless, and you know your job is absolutely obsolete, but you're keeping it anyway. That's a lot of jobs. Those jobs, 1,000%, are easier than streaming. But there are jobs that are more difficult for sure. Like, Lacey's saying that he worked at Walmart and also Panera at the same time. That's probably a little bit more difficult. But most of these jobs, yeah, I'd probably say in tech, a lot of jobs, to be honest with you, they're probably way easier than streaming.
Harder?
Yeah. No, it makes it easier for you
Makes
guys.
it easier because we have a guaranteed pay.
100%. You have
Makes
security.
it easier
Talk about
for
raises.
Makes it easier for 9-to-5 people to have a job because their pay is guaranteed.
when you go to work every day, everyone's
so you're
like...
basing the ease of a job.
See, this guy's saying, try underwater welding pussy. Like, you're not watching me 70 feet under right now, Skitty 8. I know you're not doing that. You might be playing Subnautica on your fucking monitor right now, but you are not doing anything. You are a loser. I know you're a loser. So don't act like you're doing anything. You probably have no job. You ain't working at Walmart or Panera. I know you.
Getting paid regularly? Is that what you...
Well, let's just say that comes to perspective. If you say someone who works food, if you're someone who works a doctor, it's obviously different. But if you're talking abroad, 9-to-5, someone who doesn't need a degree, yeah, it's way easier than being a streamer.
How so?
Well, it's because you're guaranteed and you don't need any crazy knowledge. You don't need to go to school for most jobs, like certain things like a 9-to-5. If you wanted to go work at Foot Locker, I could go to Foot Locker, apply, and then next thing you know, I'm selling shoes for pay every single hour.
So according to you, a job is easier or harder based on the guaranteed pay? That's one aspect of it.
Working
right?
at Foot Locker, working at a job like Panera or wherever Lacey is easier than a streamer, yes, because a streamer you have to come up with ideas, you have to stay relevant.
We're talking about ideas now. Okay,
yeah,
we're talking about pay.
Okay, so what do you want to start with though? But it doesn't make. But
well,
you're not even. You keep switching it. So why don't
I'm
you
not
answer my
switching
question?
anything.
You know, you 100%.
This guy's either homeless or the smartest guy in the room. I can't tell you.
How is it harder if you're guaranteed to pay? I worked for 4 years of streaming. I didn't make $1.
Well, what's your definition of hard? That's the thing. It's like what
stuff
is
that
difficult.
you need creativity. You need to get out of your circle, comfort zone.
Yeah.
You need to be able to actually make people believe what you believe in the sense of like, oh, this is good content. Do you watch any TV shows?
I watch YouTube.
Okay, you watch
so
YouTube.
Much YouTube.
So it's the same thing. So the people
Absolutely,
that you're
yeah.
entertained by are people like us, just for a different audience.
That's true, but you're talking about entertainment as a job. We could talk about entertainment.
This is entertainment,
as a job.
but this
yeah,
is entertainment.
Entertainment
but my
as a
question
job
to you
doesn't have
is
any
why?
guarantees. Absolutely.
So do you truthfully, you could sit here and think that working at like a Foot Locker or something like that, I'm just using that because that's the best example, is harder than a streamer?
It depends on what you are saying the word hard means to you. Because
in the sense of everyday
physically,
activity, because some people around here said, oh, I got to wake up at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Oh, okay, we have to do the same thing.
Sure.
Some people do that.
And you deal with yourself.
No, we deal with millions of people.
When you're creating that content and you have your phone,
you're saving their lives.
You're dealing with you and yourself in that phone.
Okay, so what happens?
You're not dealing with
not true.
And you're not
That's not true at all. I have an editor that I pay who relies on me. If I stop doing any type of content, he loses
So when
a job.
you go to your job, when you go to work, when you go to work, rather than punching a card, you pick up your phone or you turn on a camera.
Okay, so when you punch the card, let's say, who's above you? Your boss, right? What happens if he just takes the business and he says, oh, we're not doing it anymore? You lose your job.
If the work is picking up a phone or turning on a camera as opposed to going in with a bunch of people and having to multitask tasks you have to do throughout your shift and deal with your
Tasks you gotta do
coworkers
throughout
and
the stream.
interpersonal thing. Tell me how much you do of that stuff while you are actually doing your job for however many number of hours that you are talking and typing and shitting and eating and all that stuff that everybody's watching you do.
Go ahead.
No, but there's actually a mental aspect.
I understand that, yeah.
No. Let me hear me out. Camaraderie. Like you have like a group of people, like friendships, relationships, which is the most important thing in life. So do you build that with your coworkers and stuff like that?
Sorry, bye.
See you later. Seeing a lot of flags.
Ooh, I don't know why he left, but all right.
What's your name?
So I'm Angelina, and I work as an executive assistant.
You're right. You're right. She's right. Hang on. She's right. She's right. I'm not gonna lie. She's
All right, so you guys were talking about the mental aspect, and I thought that was really interesting because as someone who works a 9 to 5, technically it's a 10 to 6, but I still have to clock in a certain amount of time. I come home, I'm too tired to cook. Fortunately, I have a beautiful girlfriend that does all of that stuff for me when I get home, but if I didn't, I would have to cook for myself and get to bed in time and wake up in time to commute back to my job.
That guy's pissed
You guys
too.
talk about how it's hard because there's a mental aspect, and I understand as someone who's been on social media a lot that you get
How long have you
berated.
been on social media? Just to get broad.
So I actually did content creation starting at the age of 14. When I moved to LA, I gained like 10,000 followers off the bat, and I was very
Until she
young,
said
and I
she's a
started working
lesbian.
with different brands.
Okay.
I totally understand the mental aspect. It's just that you guys can afford to say, hey, I'm gonna go wherever for 2 weeks, and that can be content, that can be your job, and you actually get to relax and travel the world and have other
So
opportunities.
you're just saying a lot of points.
There's no relaxation.
Just so I can answer a couple. So you were saying like to go back to the beginning, you were saying like you can manage like your time with like relationship. Was that correct? Like you have your girlfriend when you go home. Like
I fortunately have a support system, but I every day like ask.
Bro, do they not understand how difficult it is being a streamer where everyone is in your face parasocially? Do they not understand what it's like with relationships or anything in general? That it's just out there and people are scathing at like fingernails going for it, trying to find out everything about you? Like, do people not understand that that's a very difficult part of our lives? Like, chat, I can't have a fucking girlfriend without you guys understanding and bothering me about it. I can't have a relationship without you guys, you know, just trying to get involved. Honestly, I kind of like when you get involved, I'll be honest. I kind of like it a lot. But I just, you know what I'm saying, chat? Like, I think I'm my own worst enemy. Want to chat if you agree.
Ask myself how I would have been able to do it without.
Example. So you said 14 you started. I started at 16. For about 3 years, I was making money, and it slowly went super up, and then all of a sudden it went down, right?
Yeah.
I lost everything, fell off completely.
About to
myself. Real story. This is a real story. This isn't a joke. Why are you smiling?
We've all been there. Every 9 to 5 worker has been there.
So
That's
going
why.
back to what you said, how you have a support system. I moved across the country from my parents at the age of 19, lived alone in an apartment, was paying a certain amount of money every single month, and I was losing money. I wasn't making enough money to pay my, like I had money in my bank for my rent, but I wasn't making more than my rent.
Yeah.
So I was losing.
You were in the red every month.
I was in the
I
red
got
every
you.
single month. Girlfriend broke up with me at the time, so alone
whammy.
across the country. So it's like when you're alone too and everything's going down, where's my support system?
I don't like why she's laughing, bro.
Okay, so I have a question. You said that for the first 4 years you started streaming, you had no income. How are you able to survive?
I lived with my mom. I was 16.
So that to a certain extent is privilege.
That's privilege?
What?
It is.
That's not
But my
privilege,
mom-
that's
but my
needed.
mom- how's that privilege? Before you
It's
go
privilege because you have the support system to have a place to live.
Well, at
That's
15,
not privilege.
16, I would hope I have parents that would live with me.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't, and they have to
What is
take
that?
9
That's
to
a whole different
5s.
discussion.
That's such a stupid logic. What? He's a fucking American living in America. He's got. How's it a privilege at 16 to be able to live in a family home? I don't think she's right, chat. I think that's like a national security risk or something. Like what? He's a 16-year-old kid. He's got. You can't even turn off the lights in his own home. I think she's wrong, and she's just honestly. I think her argument's been the worst so far. I don't like her. And it's not because she's lesbian. Like, what the fuck is he supposed to do? He's 16.
So a lot of people don't have houses
A lot of
when they
people
working
don't
9 to
have
5s?
families that support them or accept
But that's a
them.
whole different conversation. What does that have to do with the 9 to 5?
Because they still need to survive. So the fact that you were given
So
the
how did you move to LA?
I moved across the country as well with my mom when I was 15 years old.
Do you not think that's privileged?
I mean, we moved into a 1-bedroom in Santa Monica and shared a trundle bed, so.
Okay, well, I was reselling shoes to afford my mom's mortgage and everything.
I get it. I've definitely.
Ron, you're from Cherry Hill. Shut up. You're from Cherry Hill, Ron. Shut the fuck up that you were doing that. I know exactly where you're from. You're from some bougie ass place. Chat, literally one of Ron's driveway in Cherry Hill looks like a fucking Mario Kart map, all right? That's how beautiful Cherry Hill is. It's a gorgeous area. You wanna know how nice Cherry Hill is, chat? That's where Dave is from. That's the kind of people that are bred from Cherry Hill. It is a beautiful Jewish area filled with many Jews that have tons of money, and they all cultivate it into this little area called Cherry Hill. They have a fantastic mall, which I think actually went out of business.
Definitely helped my family out in times where I was able to, but I also had to have my family support me in order for me to have certain opportunities to make money in the first place. So if you didn't have content creation, what would you be doing?
It's a great question. I don't know, because I didn't set my goals that way. I set up my life to that. I know I would do what I want to do.
I think you wanted to work at
paid
Foot
the
Locker.
same every single month. Let's say just in simple terms, we all got paid $100,000 a month, a crazy amount of money. Would you guys still, truthfully, I'm asking a serious question, would you guys say that all of our jobs are harder than each other, truthfully?
Yeah, if she was a nurse, she had to go to medical school for years just to be able to have her foot in the door.
All right, let's not pretend that the nurse is a lot harder job than a 9 to 5. Or wait, let's not pretend that being a nurse is harder than being a nurse, in my opinion, is harder than a 9 to 5. It's like one of the hardest jobs is being a nurse. Because not only do you have to go through medical school, which is a bitch, but working with people all the time, that just sounds like a pain in the ass, right? That fucking sucks. You're dealing with people that are dying. That's gotta be absolutely the worst job. That's tough. That is harder than streaming. 1,000%. I don't think you can even make an argument that a nurse is not an easier job than streaming. Streaming is way easier than a 9 to 5. What's also makes streaming easier, and I think a lot of streamers, especially at the top, don't understand why this makes it easier, is your cushion for money is just so much. The fact that I have the ability to not stream whenever I want is an insane reality. I just didn't go to work yesterday. I didn't even give you guys an excuse. I just didn't show up. That's not possible. You can't just not show up to work. I just didn't go. I didn't even talk to you guys. Like, look at Nick. Nick literally fucking for 4 months just left. You can't do that in the real world. That's the difficult part. And I also disagree with FaZe. I mean, obviously they're trolling, but they're saying that it's easier for a 9 to 5 because you have secured income. Dude, whose jobs are secure in 2025? That might have been true in the 90s, in the early 2000s, and even the 80s, when some people would have one job for life. Nobody has a job anymore, security. It's not a thing. People don't have job security. They come and go so fast. People don't even know what college degree to get because they're thinking that AI is just going to take over everything. In my opinion, is being a top influencer easier than a 9 to 5? Absolutely, 1,000%. It requires a lot of effort. It requires a lot of work. But the outcome you get, which is the obscene amount of money, makes up for the problems that you have. Like, yes, I think if everyone was making $100,000 a year, guys like Ron have a much more difficult job than the average person. Because Ron has to be live 9 hours a day. He's streaming constantly. He's constantly trying to come up with ideas. I do think that it would be more difficult. But for most people, it's not.
She was getting security because she was going to be a nurse, correct?
Not secure.
How is it not secure if you knew what you were going to do?
Nothing's secure.
Nothing's secure. You just proved my point. But you just proved my point.
No job is secure, but content creation gives you the ability to have those savings, to have an audience. And even if you do lose all your followers one day, even if
let's say I lost it all tomorrow.
You still have residuals of your previous viral videos. Even if people are hating on you and shitting on you, that's still adding to what goes into your pocket.
I don't think that's true whatsoever. That just went to my lawyer's pocket.
Literally doctors who do one surgery and make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Because they were trained for decades and they had to go to school.
So are we.
You went to school.
Yeah, but we also get paid sometimes $100,000 to do a sponsor. Like, what do you want me to say? Which is one of the sponsors I actually got recently.
School to be a content creator.
Streamer University.
Streaming University really popped off. I want to hear what Adapt has to say. I feel like it's going to be the most important.
How you doing, bro?
Good, how you doing?
Alex.
Gabe.
Gabe, how we doing?
I'm doing good. So first of all, I want to say I do respect all of you for what you do. I mean, you guys do work, but you do not work as hard as people who have a regular job.
You don't know that.
I mean, that I do know it for sure. It's very clear. People have to wake up and do their routine over and over again. It's not a daily thing, it's a weekly thing, it's a monthly thing, it's a yearly thing, it's a life thing. And if they screw up, they lose their jobs. And they always have to be careful because if they do something weird, they say something weird to their coworker or their boss, they're gonna lose their job. If you lose some followers because of something you say, you'll get other followers and you have...
Yeah, but that's actually a bad argument because you would lose your job. Let's say if I was harassing an employee, like a girl, right? Let's just go with the girl. Let's say I was harassing an employee at a company. I would lose my job, but I wouldn't lose my career. When in this industry that we're in, if you harass a woman, let's say you hump a toad or something, you can lose everything and your reputation is destroyed forever. So it's completely different in my opinion, right? You can't compare. If you do something in the real world, you just lose your job. Most people won't even know about it. And in fact, HR wouldn't even want it to get out because they don't want to know their employees did that. They would just blacklist you from the company. But in our world, if you do something wrong, and sometimes you don't even do anything wrong, it goes to the point where you can't have a career anywhere. Someone types in someone's name and they have some sexual harassment or they did something, they're not getting a job anywhere they go. It'll follow you forever. Unless you're on Kick, then it doesn't matter.
You have a large following enough where there's enough of a range of perspectives that people will always be on board for you as long as you're producing content. People who screw up at their jobs and lose their jobs, and maybe there's a recession, there's not a lot of jobs, as could be now, they get potentially homeless or worse.
You ever heard of cancel culture?
What's that? Yeah, of course I've heard of it. But how many people have been canceled and came back? I mean, it happens all the time. Your boss is not going to be loyal to you if you don't get that thing in on time 5 times.
Okay, but check it
you're
out.
done.
Okay, so listen. But to be able to get that loyal following of people that do follow you, you need to build that over years and years and years and hours of trust and communication and intimate relationships with your audience.
Okay, so
that's not something that's just given to you.
We need to have more intimate relationships with my audience.
Mizkif, hey.
Well,
you don't just fall into 1 million subscribers, 2 million subscribers, 3 million subscribers.
Of course not. It takes work for sure. But what you guys are talking about in terms of the toll it takes on you, a large part of it, and let me tell you something, I'm a little older than you guys, so a large part of it is just general angst from being young, and you just happen to have a camera in front of you and talking to people or whatever, but at the same time, you're doing exactly what most people are doing, which is dealing with life stuff, and that's normal. The mental toll that it takes dealing with people and getting comments and this and that, that's what everybody deals with. But you don't have to wake up at 6 in the morning and get to your job and then be there and be on the whole time, no matter what.
Here's what I would say is probably the worst part about being a streamer. I would say the worst part about being a streamer is, yes, the stability of a normal job is something that is very shaky nowadays. But I would say the stability of a streamer where you go live and your job is dictated on a viewership where, you might just do one wrong thing or maybe the algorithm just doesn't like you and now you're spit out. That stress and that mental can be really fucked. So I think that's probably where it's tough the most, in my opinion, is the lack of consistency. Not that you can't go live, but more so you might lose those followers or just something happens where you might have less viewers that day or something. Does that make sense? But I'm not saying that for streamers like me. I think the top 100 streamers and we all agree, make way more than they deserve. Way more than we deserve. I don't deserve most of this. If you would say, Miz, based on how much you work, what do you deserve? I'd probably say something between 100 and 200K. That's legitimately what I believe I deserve. Is probably something that's around $100,000 to $200,000 a year. I don't deserve most of the money I get at all. I don't think most streamers do.
Anyone who has a 9 to 5 has to do that.
I said, what do you do?
I'm a college professor, so I have to.
You think I deserve $50,000 a year for what I do? I took off one day. I deserve $50,000 a year. Ooh, 60. I got a promotion. Less, really. I deserve less than $50,000. Chat, you realize if I made $50,000 a year, I wouldn't even be able to go live? I couldn't have paid my electricity. I wouldn't be able to live in this house. And forget the curtains going back and forth. Be gone. You just spam yo all day long. You've been subbed for 32 months. You really think that's my job? You've been around for almost 3 years and you think my job is I just say yo? Non-stop?
To do that same
So
sort
you
of...
just gotta come in and teach the same shit for the next 10, 15 years?
Yes, you're right.
Come on, man.
We have to,
You already know what you're doing.
We have to produce new shit every day.
For me in particular, to Silky's point, you're a college professor, so you're essentially reteaching the same curriculum to the same students.
That I had to take
what I'm
years
saying?
to learn, but
you know
yes.
what I'm saying? But I started making content when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
It started out playing Call of Duty trick shotting.
Mm.
I
You were-
don't think
okay.
anybody in this room could hit a crane shot. I don't know if anyone in this room could quickscope.
I don't know if
So
that's
I had
something to
do
be proud of, but okay.
So I had to do
That's
that for
very
4
to be
years.
proud of, yeah.
Right? And then I'm like, okay. Then I had to do YouTube for 4 years.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
And then I had to do FaZe Clan, build FaZe Clan out, fix FaZe Clan, and then
Okay.
do streaming.
Okay.
So
And
you're
with how many
constantly-
people helping you?
How many people helping me?
Yeah.
Come on now.
For which stages?
All of them. There were a lot. You had a team.
Yeah, when I was
Was it just you? Like
No. It
Okay.
was just me. There's receipts of this.
It wasn't built on the shoulders of anyone?
There's receipts on YouTube of me.
Okay, well, where did YouTube come from?
When I was
How did
13
YouTube become so
when I was
easy?
13
Because
years
a
old.
bunch of people worked their butts off 9 to 5, making it a thing.
That's
and
what
if
you
it
did
didn't
in the
exist,
previous
if
voice.
it didn't
So
exist,
just-
you couldn't press
So the
play, you
fact-
couldn't press record,
So the fact that
and
you
then
have
just
a,
talk.
The fact that you have a campus to teach on, then
Yeah.
boom, there you go.
Right, but I
How do you-
also
how do you
had
have
to
a
spend
campus to
years
teach?
earning my credentials and mastering.
And I did it.
Come on, guys. Your credentials are playing video games. I play video games on my spare time. Come on, guys.
So you just want to get paid to play video.
That's such a bad argument. That's like saying comedians don't deserve to be paid because people just make jokes when they're home. That's such a dumb argument. This guy just sounds really fucking salty. Like, oh, it's a skill for, and he's basically saying no one in entertainment deserves to make money. Give me a break. We all don't deserve to make money. None of us in entertainment.
Video games. This is okay. We understand.
I'm Vicky, and my perspective is coming from a hair and makeup artist, physical job.
I mean, I would also argue, chat, like, you could say streamers, like, yeah, blah, 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 shut up, Miz. But streamers in general, like, there are some streamers that have crazy skill. Like, dude, to be the best at a game like Valorant, that's incredible. That is an incredible thing, is to be the best at Valorant. That, yeah, like, it makes sense that you have a skill that you probably worked on for years.
Doesn't seem like any of you guys can even compete with the
Oh,
physicality.
brother.
You guys
I know how to do a three-strand braid.
Just sitting on your butt and talking into a microphone
know.
is
So-
very different.
So wait.
Very different than having to get up in the morning, carry all of your gear. You've got to carry all of your hair, makeup, all of your supplies. You have to haul it around, get up early in the morning. You stand on your feet all
Bet.
day. You never sit down.
I hear you, I
You're
hear you. I
built a
breathing in.
house.
You're breathing in toxic chemicals all day.
All right, can I talk?
Hairspray.
Listen, so your whole
So
thing.
it's dangerous.
Listen,
Your
just
job
chill,
isn't
chill.
dangerous.
So
your
thing
job
is-
isn't
your thing
physically
is
taxing. You're just talking into a
So
microphone.
bet, listen. So your whole
She
thing.
doesn't get that.
Your whole thing is we can't do what you do, right?
It's not
No, no, no,
physical.
no, but-
I'm saying that
I
a
just-
9 to
y'all let
5
me talk for a
job where
second.
you physically have to do
So-
some hauling around stuff.
So
and
I physically
you're
can't
just
haul
talking
around
into a microphone.
bags of like makeup. You physically could never trick shot. You could not hit a crane shot. You can't 1080. You can't hold a controller
Talk to
and
him.
make a 200K montage.
Talk
You
to
can't.
him, man.
No one in here can.
Come on, man.
None of you could.
But you
none
can
of
carry
you-
some, just
none of you
some
could
hair and makeup.
physically
And you have
go
to do that for 12 hours a day.
Yes. Actually,
You
yes.
taking him 4 days to hit a trick
Wait,
shot. It's
wait,
taking you 4 days
wait.
to hit a trick shot.
Actually, yes, I would have
Hours
to
a
do
day.
that.
And then your day is
Yes,
never
I
done. When you're
would.
done doing that, is your job done? Do you have to go shopping and replace
No, no,
all of the things
wait.
that you
Stop.
use?
No. Listen,
You have to
Vicky,
clean
listen,
all of
Vicky.
your gear.
You don't know about dry streaks. You don't know about hit markers.
But when you're done, you're
You don't know
done.
about if the
know what that
Elgato
is.
wasn't on.
When
Can
you're
you
done, you're
imagine
done.
these things?
Oh my God, disable
Elgato?
resample.
If I rendered my video in Vegas and I sent the editor the clips without disabling and resample,
Oh my God.
my montage is fucked.
You have
Your
to-
main underlining argument here is what you do is physically
Daily, day
more-
to day.
Okay. Your main thing is what you do is physically more taxing and hard than what any of us
And
do.
dangerous.
I could say the same thing. You cannot physically trick shot. You could never. I would go as far
Okay,
as
so how many hours a day do you trick shot?
I don't think.
How many hours
guys
a
ever do.
day do you trick shot? How many hours?
When I was trick shotting, it was 12 hours a day. It was however long I needed to. However
Every
long
day,
I
12
needed
hours
to.
a day
However
trick
long I
shotting?
needed to hit a clip.
12 hours a day, every day.
5 seconds.
And that clip is.
He carries a Barrett 50 cal and he jumps off of stuff.
I would have to get on Call of Duty, turn my sense all the way up to 10-10. I would have to get to last. I would have to pray to God that he would be in the right spot, throw the concussion. Now I gotta have my rotations down. I gotta have my rotations.
Dead zones. Talk about the dead zones.
Talk about dead zones.
Stick drift.
Stick drift.
Thing is, for the most part, but that is not all YouTubers that are doing something physical. A lot of it is just talking.
Yeah, but she also said it was dangerous. We could walk around.
Listen, I will agree on one thing, chat. I think podcasters, a lot of podcasters or people that make podcasts absolutely are, it's not even that it's not even a job. Half the time with these podcasters, that's the biggest joke of a job you can ever imagine. Some of these podcasters, I saw Tyler the Creator once say that most of them don't deserve a mic. I completely agree. And that's why I quit. It's like, there's podcasting, a lot of them just should not be talking. At all.
Around
Love
IRL
streams I
someone
haven't
could rob
watched
us
in a
or
while,
rob us.
but you've always been here for me.
They're laughing. That's happened recently. I've gotten a pumpkin thrown on my head by a crackhead.
Crackhead ran up to him on stream and almost died.
Recorded his thoughts.
These workers make terrible arguments because they aren't actually 9-to-5 workers, so they don't know what it's like. They are just hired actors in LA.
Oh, Silky just finished a 90-day stream, so he's 100% hard work.
My name is Thelma. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. I am very occupational. My last job, I worked as a librarian with elementary school children. I have been an executive secretary, legal.
Very quiet, peaceful.
Yes, yes, all that. You know, because it's who you are. That you know, we create social media all the time because that's what we are. We're 9-to-5ers, and we interact and have energy with people. Where I don't think that you guys have that.
We have energy.
Are you serious?
You have false energy because you're across the screen. You're not interacting with people like we do.
So what are we doing right now? What are we doing right now?
You're doing it now because we're doing a video.
Wait, isn't she debating for us? That's making it harder for us.
Do you know that there's millions of people?
Now I'm not gonna have all y'all gang up on me.
There's millions of people who watch the video.
Yes.
You save lives every day, probably more than doctors.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's people that literally stay alive because they want to watch our videos.
You know about going out and to the clubs at night, staying out till 10 o'clock in the morning, trying to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning so you can get dressed.
So you was having fun.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so.
So, but I'm saying it's like you guys don't do the interaction. You don't touch people like this.
Okay. Now,
What kind of shit's going on?
you go to the club, you get to put some shades on, and you go by your day to work.
I always wonder how many people I saved. I always think about that, chat. How many people I saved? How many lives do you think I've saved over the years?
She wins the Rob lookalike challenge.
No, she actually has hair. What do you think I saved? Do you think I've killed people? -5. -5. Really? -13. What? You really think I've killed people? I've lost brain cells. You've definitely lost brain cells watching me for sure. I'm definitely making you lose. You're definitely getting dumber as time goes on for sure. You saved mine. Listen, chat. I never saved any life whatsoever. Okay. Remember that. You saved yourself. And you probably saved yourself by not watching me. You have a positive KDA. That's actually true. My KDA right now is 1-0, I think. We should play Call of Duty sometime. I actually fucking miss that.
We can't do that because we have thousands of people.
But is
You're
that
drunk.
your choice?
You're high. You're hungover. Just get off stream. We don't want to see you like this.
But is that your choice?
We don't like you like this. Why are you doing this?
But is that your choice? You chose that. You chose this life.
That's the thing. We can't.
And that's what's happening now. That's what's happening now with the whole world. It's a total disconnect. When you have a 9-to-5, you dealing with people. You touching people's hearts, souls, minds. No, you are not.
Do you know how many names we meet a day?
Look, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, and I respect what you do.
Do you watch any entertainment?
Oh my God.
Of course I watch entertainment. I got kids. I got grandkids.
Do you ever laugh? Do you ever laugh?
Of course I laugh.
So then the interaction.
We're touching them.
But the interaction is not real.
Did it make you feel better?
When I'm watching
Wait, did it make you feel better?
What make me feel
Have you
better?
ever
It all
watched-
depends on
Have you ever been entertained?
Have you ever been entertained and been like,
oh, I feel good?
Some of it is
I got a
fake.
banger right now.
Some of it is fake.
You see, you're not answering.
So now let me.
Okay, well let me answer because I'm debating him.
Okay, yeah.
But go ahead.
Right after this, I got you. Right.
This was the dumbest argument.
Okay, all right, come on.
So when you're entertained, have you ever felt like your day was better if you watched something? You've never felt like that?
Yeah, sure.
So what's the difference with us?
The difference with you is that you guys do this 24/7. That's all you do.
Yeah.
Does that make it tough?
You just like you. Wait a
Will that
minute.
make it
Somebody
harder?
made a comment about, oh, I can't even go out with my girlfriend, or I can't even go out in public.
That's right.
I can go out in public and be seen.
So it's
You know what?
easier.
I'm a very social person. I'm very popular in where I do and where I am. I do social media.
I'm saying what we do.
I don't
has
think she
not
got the
affected
script.
people, It's not real. How come when I go out in public and I meet someone and they're like, "Oh my God, wait, I loved your videos growing up. You were my childhood. I used to watch you
Or their
every
hands
single
shaking,
day.
their hands shaking.
Like you were my child. You know how like we grew up watching Disney Channel?
Yep.
I've had
Ben
kids come
10.
up hundreds of times throughout years of my life. Have kids come up to me and say these things. So
Okay.
I'm Robbie. I'm a server at an Italian restaurant.
Come on, bro. Life's easy.
Oh, that's not fair.
He has the same menu, makes the same food every day.
First thing I'm gonna say is nobody's gonna say being a nurse isn't hard, because my aunt was. That is the
My
most
mom
difficult
was.
shit. How are you gonna disrespect your mom like
No,
that,
she
dude?
is right now.
You're gonna disrespect
She
your
loves
mom
it.
and say that your work is harder?
She tells
That
me
is
it's
so rude,
Because
honestly.
she works 2 of them.
Okay,
She works at 2 hospitals.
Let me ask you something.
She said it's mad easy. She could work at 2 hospitals.
No disrespect, but what you do, I'm not your target audience. So break it down for me, because I don't even get it.
Oh my God.
Let me ask you something.
You just said I'm not your target audience because I'm black. That's what you just said. You won't watch me because I'm black. And this is what I'm talking about. It's harder.
He has to get judged every
I gotta get
single
judged every day. Everybody thinks I'm a hoodlum. I'm a nice guy.
He's a jolly dude.
I can't get a job because I got tats. I used to work at Costco's. I had the greatest 401k granted to me. That means that when I retire, I get the biggest stipend of my life. Do you know I could just sit there and just meat pack all day just to really realize that, what, maybe 20 years I'm gonna be sitting on millions because I worked at Costco's?
Yeah, Will.
Okay.
I didn't have to interact with nobody, just packing meat.
Yeah, Will.
Come on, bro.
Is what you do fun?
I mean,
Do you enjoy what you do?
if I make it fun,
Do you make it fun?
I could make it fun.
Yes or no? Is what you do fun?
Not everything's fun.
What isn't fun? Break it down for me. What do you do in a day? We'll swap stories. What do you do in a day?
Okay, so it's very stressful, right?
Not fun at all. Because this dude was talking for 20 minutes about playing video games.
Whoa. It sounds like you're jealous, I'm not gonna lie. But
You on his diesel.
okay, so look, right?
So I'm jealous of a harder job.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hey,
Yeah.
Would you guys want to be streamers if you could? Be on Brits for the 10 months. After watching streaming, probably my chat, the average person's watched 10 years of Twitch. Do you think you'd want to be a streamer? A lot of you are saying no. It's interesting. Let me ask you, would you guys want to work in the scene, like the industry, or would you just not want to deal with it at all? No, yes. Some of you would want to work in the scene, but most of you guys just would not want to deal with streaming at all. It's too fake. That's also a very difficult part of streaming that I think is tough, is the fact that basically everyone you know and everybody you talk to is completely fake. Everything is completely fake. There's no realness because the truth is everything's tied to a number. What's hard about streaming compared to a normal job is you go to a normal job and you just being friends with someone isn't going to get you a promotion immediately, right? But if I become close friends with someone like Jason the Ween, I'll instantly go up in viewership. Like, that's a pretty crazy thing. So it's hard to really say someone's truly your friend in this industry when you don't know if behind them they're thinking about the numbers all the time, because they can, right? Like, oh, if you just come on my stream a little bit, you could probably get some free viewership. That's insane. That's a lot. And I think that's probably the hardest part of streaming. But that's also, in my opinion, almost every industry when you're doing well. Most industries, if you have a good job, you're probably having that same feeling a lot where you feel like people can use you or manipulate you, or you don't feel like everyone's your friend. You have work friends, right? And then you have home friends. So I think it's the same in a lot of industries.
Or sarcasm, you didn't read it. No, I'd like to hear
No,
this.
no, listen. Listen to the time that I wake up. I wake up maybe 3, 4 p.m. You know what I'm saying? I'm already drowsy because I just smoked the night before. You know why I gotta smoke? Because I just deal with thousands of people. I don't even like people. I gotta deal with thousands of them. No. Let him stay. You gonna stay for this, right?
Wait, but you still haven't described what you've done other than smoking pot and waking up at 4.
Okay, waking up at 4 p.m., right? Now wake up. I gotta brush my teeth, right? Gotta make sure, cause I got a lot of comments. Now, you know, he don't brush his grills. What does his real teeth look like? I gotta make sure. I gotta make sure that my yeah.
He got Chanel earrings like a bad bitch.
And there's girls in his chat too sometimes. So
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
See him.
I gotta make sure I'm freshly saving. I'm not saving for this video. I already know what's gonna happen. It's about to be negative comments. Yo, shave that little scruffy shit on your face.
Chops.
Cool,
Silky got fat.
Now I have to game Marvel Rivals for probably 1 to 2 hours before stream. You know why? Because I don't get to game it for after work. Like I could just game it after work, bro. I can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't just do that, right? After I do that, now I gotta sit here and plan with somebody what I'm gonna do for the stream today. Oh, looks like we got no content. All right, let's see if we could just scrub something around.
No content, no money.
No content, no money. Now look, probably by 8 or 9 p.m., I'm still probably thinking I gotta do something for stream. My mind is fried.
Do you know what's crazy?
Oh wait, RA texted him in.
8, 9 p.m. for him? Oh, I did my work
He
today.
already did my
work today.
He took the same boss already.
You're going to sleep.
What? I don't want to hog the space here too much, but do you know the expression, give a man enough rope?
You're losing me.
Kill
I don't know this. I don't know.
Basically, you're talking yourself into a hole, man. Okay, my turn. I'll be brief.
Wait, give a man a rope.
What is he?
Wait,
It means-
is that racist?
Wow.
He has no social cues. Oh, you're back?
Babe, I want to just say to you.
Rhonda.
I'm your black auntie.
Yeah,
That's what I
okay.
want to say.
Uh-huh.
You say you don't like people. It's all about relationships that you got with people. So when you say shit like that, do you really mean that?
Do I not like people?
You said,
I'm an introvert. I'd rather be in my own space. I'd rather be by myself.
And that's okay. But what is it that you're doing that's helping other people?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Saving lives. I'm a superhero.
He's a hero.
I'm a superhero, no cape.
Yeah, Silky was by far the dumbest.
Uh-oh, here you go.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You look great. You look
That's
great.
right. I'm Thelma again.
I believe 9 to 5 is harder. I mean, fuck. No. I believe.
I think dreaming is so much harder. Why are you doing it?
I can't have a public relationship because of the public eye and how they judge my relationships. I had a breakup with a girlfriend that I loved so dearly because I chose streaming.
So my question.
No, I loved her.
My question.
I loved her, and you're laughing.
My question again. My question. If you think it's so much harder, why are you doing it?
Because I'm passionate about it.
Okay, so you love it. You love streaming. So do you love it more than you loved that girlfriend?
That's what I had to decide.
Oh.
I had to make sacrifice, and
So
that's
you-
what you have to
so
do.
you lost
with
the
streaming.
human You let her touch. go.
But guess what? If I had a
You
9 to 5,
lost the human
if I
touch
was flipping burgers,
for-
I could have had a girlfriend still.
But you lost the human touch for the streaming.
Being a streamer, you have to be judged on thousands of people's opinions every single day. 9 to 5 person, maybe 1,
But
2, 3.
okay, and then back to my point. Is that your choice? Was that your choice?
But that's not the point, though. The point
No,
is
that's my point. That's my point.
streaming is harder
Was
than 9 to 5.
that
That's the point.
you gave up your girlfriend for streaming? Come on now.
Shit, he ran up a bag.
He ran up a
bag.
bag.
I
You did it for a bag.
But the thing is, it comes to a point. Do I pick love and a future with someone I care dearly for? Or do I pick something that I
Future
love?
for money.
Something that I'm passionate about and motion. I pick motion.
I'm Lala Costa.
Lala Costa?
Yes.
Amazing name.
Thank you. I'm an attorney.
She makes a percent off people's fuck ups. I like that.
If you had an opportunity to get a 9 to 5 that you could create yourself, like whatever you want,
Yes,
9
I
to
would.
5, you would take it?
Yes.
Because why?
Because I don't even enjoy streaming anymore.
You don't? What? Come to this side.
No, but I have to because this is what I built my career off of.
You
started.
feel stuck.
I feel stuck, yeah.
Have you ever watched a show and you stopped watching it?
Mm,
Have you ever watched a show and you were like,
all the time.
It's the same thing.
Bro, she's an attorney, not a therapist. Why is he acting like that?
Yeah.
I have to.
That TV show can't. It's done. What happened to all those actors?
It's
after that?
canceled
They gotta
because I
go to-
stopped watching?
Well, no, I'm saying if thousands
Baby,
of thousands of you
Honey.
stop watching.
I think you guys are mixing all
Yeah,
the issues.
Cartoon Network. It's like
and
they
not
got millions of
focusing
people.
on-
You guys know what Cartoon Network is?
If your
It's
father
gone.
would stop, would you come up with a different brand then?
All those people are gone. Yeah, but pivot. That's the point.
meet you.
I'm a professional model, but
Okay.
I've worked since I was at the age of 14.
Okay.
I was a gamer too.
I just think personally, like I agree with Jason that I think streaming does take a certain more stop than a 9 to 5, and I also think everybody in here, right? If you guys all try to be a streamer, right, and then we all try to do what you guys do,
You get L's in your chat.
the probability of everybody here trying to be an attorney is way higher than somebody making streaming a career.
Absolutely, your job is you just got lucky because
Ooh, the L word. Ooh, you just got lucky. Chat, do you think we all just got lucky at the end of the day? I'll be honest. I think that it's almost all luck. I think so many people could be good streamers really quick if they just learned a few things. It's a lot of luck. And I think a lot of streamers sometimes like, oh, I did this. Bro, there's a million people that are funny as fuck. There's a million good streamers out there and entertainers. They're there. It's not just, it's a lot of luck. I'd say it's like 95% luck. 95%. Unless you're me. I studied the game. I worked my way up to the top. I 1000% deserve what I got. I worked harder. I just studied. I analyzed. I grew. I would say mine's probably around 91%. I think I'm 91%.
You got lucky. There's so many people
I was
like you out
talented.
there.
It wasn't
These
pure
days,
luck.
everybody's an influencer. Come on.
No. But
So many.
But specifically what I do, I'm not posting.
I went to the dentist office the other day and they were doing the floss. They were flossing on the dentist Instagram because they were trying to promote the dentist is a new dentist in here.
And selfies around the world. It's basically all pure talent.
Wait,
Okay.
Can I just why is he lucky? Why do we all get lucky though?
Wait a minute. Do schools have promotions? Like, do schools do that now? Like high schools and shit? Do they do like they have like a social media manager and shit? Do they? Yes? What? They have an Instagram, like do they post reels and shit? Like, do they do trendy stuff, or is it just more like they take pictures of like the school library? That's so funny. They do trends? That's so stupid. Colleges definitely do, 1000%. Colleges would. I just wonder if like towns do or stuff. Towns, like a library or something. That's interesting.
What is your talent?
Yeah.
Call of Duty. I was a professional Call of Duty player, like actual like.
So you were sitting at home and you're thinking, what am I going to do with my life while you were gaming? You're like, oh, let's put a
I was
camera.
16, so it wasn't really like that.
You weren't really thinking of what should I do with my life, like what should I study, what should I like, where does my life go? You just got lucky.
It's not luck. It's just he's determined. He knows that's the only route.
He didn't get lucky. He put in hours.
That's what we do too. We go to
it
school,
wasn't
we
luck.
study.
Everybody's a little bit of luck. I think people who don't have a job, they feel they want to get lucky by getting a job. So I think people even having a job is some sort of luck.
He said, how many people of us could do this? No, it's luck. It's 1 of a million because for whatever
How is
reason.
that luck? If 1 out of a million, that one has to be the best. So how are you going to dismiss all of his hard work and all of his talent?
Is he the best?
I got four.
No.
Let me give my statistics. There was over 300,000 people that played Warzone last year. This is the game that I play.
Okay.
I got 4th. So I was a top 12 player across the entire world.
And you're telling him
so that's not luck. That's
like
pure
less than
pure
1%.
skill.
So you're dismissing, is Michael Jordan lucky? Is LeBron James lucky?
Yes.
Are they lucky?
I mean,
No, they
have
work.
a talent. They have
They
a talent.
work. They're kinda
But
lucky.
it's-
So what
you
do
know how many talented
Right.
people out there and don't get the chance, they don't get the shot at it?
I don't want to take up his time. So he's not talented?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Not
That's
at
what
all.
you just said.
You just
No.
said.
What he did
I
to get
said
to where
a
he
lot
is.
of people are talented don't get the shot to do what he does.
Or people who
So
make it
it's
to the
luck.
NBA.
But I didn't even get a shot. It was I did it off the strength of me. There was no one who gave me a shot or anything like that. I simply was just. You dead ass?
Yo, you being serious?
Why you laughing?
Why they laughing, bro?
It's not luck. I've been doing this for 13 years. I uploaded 3,000 videos. 2,000 of those I edited myself while I went to college, worked a job, and still went to school.
And yeah,
So that's not. I mean, if that's fucking,
stand on it, stand on it.
if that's luck,
Where's the luck at in that equation?
Again.
is there a percentage? We are all lucky in some way, right? If we all have a job, we're lucky in some sort of way. But
God bless.
also specifically pure talent. And I worked on that since I was 16.
Again, I work with many talented people. I'm not saying about you. I'm
Yeah.
just talking in general. And there's so many people that are very talented, never get a shot because they don't do the right thing. They don't go the right path. They don't meet the right people. So there are so many even talented actors.
Why do they
that
zoom in
never
on that
get a
guy?
shot. So I'm just saying it's pure luck.
It wasn't
Why did
luck.
that guy get the
I
one
just saw
cam?
an opportunity and just genuinely took it. It wasn't a handout. It was simply just, you know what, I'm talented at Call of Duty. This is what I want to do. It took me 8 years to make it a career. Is there something funny?
It's a freaking video
video game.
That's such a bad argument. It's not just a fucking video game. It's a lifestyle, you stupid son of a bitch. It's not just a video game. That's a horrible argument to make.
Mizzy, can I get a kissy?
He was 4th in the world.
Happy 57 months king.
It's a talent.
Permission to dick ride? Hey, he's made tens of millions of dollars playing video games, so.
Exactly, that's that privilege. That's that privilege.
But I'm saying though, you couldn't hop on a game and do what I do.
You couldn't do it.
That's a skill.
Your son couldn't do it. Your grandkids couldn't do it.
Some people
Your
can't.
son's grandkids could never do it. They could never do it.
Anything that takes a talent.
The genes are done. They can't do it. They can't.
How many hours a day did you spend?
When I was younger?
Yeah, when you were younger.
All day. I would wake up 3 hours before school. So I would wake up at 4 a.m. and I would play before school. Bus would come at 7. I go to home, come back, and do it again. I was 16. What's funny?
See, there's a disconnect here, because to you guys, when you guys were growing up, yes, it was just video games, it was whatever. But when we were coming up, we're like, wait, maybe we can make this career. Maybe if we get good enough at it and we create.
Do you not think if you're talented at something, it's a God-given gift?
Video games is not like...
You don't think it's talent.
You're just too old to understand.
I can't argue that because
y'all could never play
keep it
FNCS either. It's
I
the
gotta
same
keep
shit.
it a buck. There's a disconnect.
Same
You come
shit.
from a generation where this didn't exist. This career, you looked at this career and you laughed. Now, how come in colleges they're teaching courses on content creation and esports? When you grew up, this didn't exist. So no wonder you're gonna laugh when you hear this shit, because you're from a completely different generation. You just don't get it, and I don't know if you ever will be able to wrap your head around it.
And it's fun, but it's like,
And
again,
that's okay.
You gotta fight back.
That's
You gotta
okay.
fight back. I'm not gonna lie.
Nice meeting you.
Checkmate.
I'm Ronnie.
Ronnie, nice to
This
meet you.
past-
My name's Ronnie.
You were talking about job security. Are you familiar with layoffs, with being furloughed? Like taking it back to. That's being what? What does that even mean?
You lose everything. Every dollar. Everything. You lose everything.
Okay, and then you can rebuild yourself back. You
The same way
reinvent.
you can do if you get laid off. You get a
Yeah,
new
that's
job.
it's kind
okay.
of is it not the same concept? Like
I don't know. Back in 2020, when everybody was getting furloughed, everybody was like, "Oh, let me go to social media." That's kind of an easy alternative. So that seems kind of easy.
I know,
And then-
but if you lose a job, you can't.
just get another
no,
one?
you can't search for. You have an opportunity to search for another one. No?
Okay, I've been searching for another one for 10 months. I interview every day, give the same spiel, have to give that smile of walking through my resume.
I uploaded videos for 7 years and barely got any views.
And did you uploaded 7 videos and didn't get any views?
Went to school, and still.
And paid rent?
Yes, I still worked. I worked.
Oh, so that you had another job?
As a parking attendant, yes.
Okay, and was that harder
Then what?
than streaming?
No, I was on my phone all the time.
Oh, as a parking attendant, that doesn't sound like you were doing a very good job.
I was chilling.
You were chilling. You weren't good at your
He's
job.
waiting for.
Yeah, when cars park, they're done. Like it doesn't.
Okay.
I don't have to.
Well,
I'm not security.
That's
I just
a
go.
one 9
I go
to
like this. I
5.
go like this. Yo, right there. I bet. Do you think an aspect of a video game, playing video games, is a talent?
I would say it's a skill. I wouldn't call it a talent. You can master it with,
But people
my next.
millions play video games, but there are very few people who are genuinely gifted at it.
Gifted? What are they, Mozart?
How is it not a talent? Why is it not a talent what he does?
You know what? I'm open to it being a talent. I think it's a skill. I think it's something you can master. I don't think you're a Mozart that you have this gift of like, whoa, when I put my thumb here and this thumb there and
Bro, she has never seen Faker in action. She has never seen Faker in action. If she knew like how good Faker was at what he does, then she would understand that yes, it is a talent 100%.
do this combo. I do this
You'd be
flip.
surprised. I mean, there's people out there who are genuinely
They have their opposable
the
thumbs
most
like
gifted-
so good.
That's like saying, here's a paintbrush, go paint me Picasso.
Yeah, that's
like, what?
I'm saying this is so hard. If there's certain games that have $1 million.
I mean, chat, there's arguments for both sides, right? Like, there is talents in streaming, right? Just like in basketball, how some people have luck because, let's say, they're genetically inclined in basketball. There are also people that have luck in speedrunning, where if they genetically have autism, they are going to be probably one of the best in the world. It's just different. It's different sides of understanding which coin you're in and where you process and where you are.
Prize pool.
And a lot of those people who are autistic could have probably got $500,000 jobs in IT, but instead they want to, play Mario 64 all day nonstop.
If there's a skill you could just learn and you're looking for a job for 10 months, Go pick up a controller and go hop in this $1 million tournament and win it.
You couldn't.
And win it.
You couldn't. You couldn't.
Perhaps.
You wouldn't even. You couldn't. You couldn't.
You wouldn't qualify.
You couldn't.
What do you mean I wouldn't
You can't even find your
qualify?
OBS stream key. Stop playing.
I need to work for it, but
So like, but you're dismissing what he does. You're just dismissing. Like,
I'm not
oh,
dismissing. I'm saying
it's
that's
not a
easy.
skill. It's not a talent.
I
Like,
said it's a skill.
it's
I
easy.
didn't say it's a talent. I said it's a skill. It's a skill that
But
you
how
can
do you
hone and
how do you
can
know
master.
how do you know if it's easy if you haven't done it? Like if you
I
don't.
played Mario Kart. I've played other games.
Not a professional level though.
No, not a professional level because that's not what I'm trying to pursue.
I know.
Mario Kart requires a lot of skill though.
So, but you don't understand what it takes to be on that sort of level. So how can you try to dismiss it and say it's yours is harder?
What
How
is-
do you know?
what
how
does
do
it
you
take
know?
to be on that
Because
level?
I've worked at 9 to 5.
Yeah. What
so
does it take to be on that level?
Just gift that
Boxes.
you got to play all
Just
the time.
gift?
Tens of thousands of hours of work and editing and filming and constantly
I'm just
having
talking
to
about pure
innovate and
skill. As far as like the
reinvent
videos and stuff like that, just off pure skill.
I had
you
to
did-
put tens of thousands of hours
Could you get a
into my
refresh second
studies.
zone tarping? Could you?
I have no idea what you said.
Could you get a refresh going into second zone with no mats? Can you get a refresh on the best players? You
I
couldn't.
can also put. I can circle back and give
Do
you
you know how to
different
short launch
terms
pad?
from
When you're
my
trying to get to third
industries.
zone, third moving. Do you know
I
how to
don't know
short?
what- No,
launch
I
it?
don't. But if I
Exactly,
want,
you couldn't, but Excel sheet, we could do Excel sheet.
no, but exactly. I
They're
can
just talking. They're just talking game.
These
and
refreshes
As a
don't come to
babysitter,
you.
I can talk to you about the different things I do and ask you, could you do that? No, but if you wanted to, you would.
If us four
Put on
took,
race.
took 3 days, you don't think we can master an Excel sheet?
Oh,
But let me give you, if I give you 3 days about a video game, do you think you could be that talented as me?
if I wanted to, I would.
So let's
I don't think
let's
they can do
pay
an
for
Excel
her,
sheet.
Whatever it is.
Hey,
give you 3
please.
days, but if you lose, you got to give us it back in double.
No, that's not how the job works. You pay me, I'll get the job done.
Each 9 to 5 worker will now give their final thoughts on if streaming is actually worth it.
I would say, in a sense, yes, because you have to put in the work and you got to be on 24/7.
It's difficult to answer that question for us, I think, because we didn't come up in this time frame in this era.
That's fair,
And
that's fair.
technology is totally different now, because we were just talking about playing tic-tac-toe on the sidewalk with chalk. I appreciate and respect what they do, and I think that's the consensus for most of us, that we appreciate and respect where they are. But it's not, what we did was, we just feel like what we did was harder. And that's what I think.
My mind was changed in the sense that now I'm even more convinced that normal jobs are harder.
I mean, I kind of agree. Silky put me back a few times. Like, what he was saying was just such bullshit.